There's a phrase that goes, if you wouldn't want grandma to see it, then don't post it. And clearly people don't care what their grandma sees, because the stuff I see being posted online, it's all over the place, okay? So we're gonna talk about some key things that I hear pageant directors or judges complaining about in pageants, things that they don't like on your social media. I'm Dani Walker, welcome to this episode on my channel. I'm a former Miss Montana USA, I've judged pageants, and I also coach. So today I'm gonna be going over some tips for what not to post on social media if you are a pageant contestant or a title holder, or honestly, just a person in general. These are usually some pretty good tips coming from also a content creator. If you're looking for content like this, then make sure that you are subscribed and that you hit the notifications. And if you want to see episodes dedicated completely to pageants, then just check out my pageant prep playlist that I will link in the description. My disclaimer for this episode is I'm going to talk about some things, and they are going to vary from pageant system to pageant system or between age divisions, so take it with a grain of salt. These are just general suggestions, and please don't read too much into anything that we're going to go over today. My first tip is actually for safety purposes, and this is something that I got into the habit of doing before I would go on appearances. Ladies, I know that a lot of appearances are public events, and that's fine, but you don't always want every single person knowing exactly where you are at any given moment. It's a little bit scary. There's some bad people out there, unfortunately, so be very, very careful with your location tags on social media. For example, I would never tag where I lived on social media. That's not a great thing. And whenever I did do location tags for events or appearances, I actually would make sure that that was tagged after I left that location. So basically, any locations I ever tagged, I was never there in that present moment for safety purposes. Woo! There is a lot of gray area when I say sexy pictures or videos, because that could mean very different things to a lot of people. But if it's something that you're sort of thinking like, is this a little bit too much? Personally, I wouldn't post it. And this especially goes out to my teen contestants, my underage contestants. I'm really, really shocked a lot of the times when you're out there posting the sexiest pictures, it makes you look 35 years old. It's concerning. And it's one reason that a judge might look at your social media and think that you are too mature, or that you don't suit the brand or would be a good role model for young women who are underage. So be really, really aware of that and very careful. And that's still even a note to my Miss contestants. Ooh, I should not even have to say this one. Ladies, please do not post any photos or videos of you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol while you are preparing to compete in a pageant or when you are a reigning title holder. I have seen title holders get their titles taken away for things like that. So it's better to be safe than sorry. Of course, if you are under the legal age, you shouldn't be participating in that at all. But what do you do when you are of the legal age? So that's often in a contestant's contract. They will go over that with you, or it will be in the rules and the regulations for title holders, and they will specify what their stance is on drugs and alcohol. And many times it is allowed if you are of the legal age, but they will ask you not to post any photos or videos. Even if you are of legal age to participate in any of those things or partake, you still really, really need to be careful of the people that are around you and who you trust, because I have seen people release images and photos of title holders while they were under the influence of drugs and alcohol, and the title holder might not have even been aware that that was going on, but as a result they lost their title anyways. So ladies, be very, 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 very careful when it comes to this. If you're liking this episode, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want more pageant prep tips, then check the description, because I am linking my pageant prep playlist that will help you to win your next title. Ooh, this one is always super cringy to me. Venting on social media. When I say venting, I mean a couple different things by this. Sometimes I see contestants sharing a little too much personal information about themselves, and I think that in those cases sometimes it could be a reflection of where they are in their mental health. So ladies, if you need mental health services, you can look up the National Alliance of Mental Health and you can find resources, and I strongly encourage you to seek help if you are struggling with your mental health. It's okay to ask for help, but what I wouldn't recommend is venting on social media. Honestly, it causes concern for a lot of directors or judges, and they don't know if you're ready then to take on the responsibilities also of being a title holder, because your mental health should be your number one priority. So that's what I mean for venting. But the other form of venting that you absolutely shouldn't do has to do with after you compete at a pageant and you don't win. Please do not create a passive-aggressive post talking about people without saying names, but everybody really knows exactly who you're talking about. It's never a good look for you. I can't tell you how many times I've been forwarded those posts and all the other girls in the pageant they're talking about you, ladies. If you post stuff like that, other contestants are talking about you, directors are talking about you, judges are talking about you, and they're saying that it's not a good look. Okay, I don't care how upset you are, move on with your life, congratulate the title holder, put work into yourself, get back and focused on yourself. It's not good, move on. I have heard of contestants bullying other contestants online or in public. Actually, I've had other contestants do things like that to me in the past when I was competing, and I just did not even deal with any of it. But ladies, first of all, don't bully anyone because you don't know where they are. You don't know what they're going through. So how dare you try to tear somebody else down? Aside from that, please be careful with the things that you are allowing on your social media. So make sure that you are moderating your comments. I get it, I have friends. I've had friends and sometimes I'm like, why in the world would you comment that? It's not a good look for me. And they don't mean it in a bad way. But when you're a title holder or you want to win a prestigious title, you should start moderating any comments, being really, really aware of what you put online. Because as you've probably seen, there's been a lot of times recently where people go back, they dig on those social media posts and they post it after you win, and it really is damaging to your public image when really, really terrible things that you've said come out publicly. Not a good look. So let's avoid that. Also, ladies, what are we doing when we create these Facebook groups of queens and contestants and we include some and then exclude others just so that we can talk about the people that we've excluded in our group? Also not a really, really good look. Yeah, everybody knows what you're doing. I get sent screenshots. I get sent and I get to hear about all the things you're saying about a reigning queen or somebody who placed above you, and it's really not a good look. So please don't bully other contestants. Don't focus your energy on tearing them down. Focus on getting better. Focus on you. Stay in your lane. Although you should be able to freely express your opinion, we have to be very, very careful when doing so when we're talking about political or controversial issues on social media if you're a contestant or a title holder. I just did another episode recently about Miss Universe Thailand 2020 who lost her position. She was fired from being a mental health ambassador, and that was her entire advocacy. And she was fired from this government position because of statements that she made online. Let's not get into whether what she said was right or wrong, because frankly, ladies, it doesn't matter in the view of the public eye. What matters though is when you are a title holder that you are taking into consideration that you represent more than yourself. You represent a brand, you represent an organization, you represent the dreams of young women who want to be just like you. You potentially represent sponsors or other partnerships. So keep that in mind. You're not just speaking for yourself when you're a title holder. And even if you have the best intentions, it could still come back to hurt you in the end if you don't state everything exactly right, which is why a lot of title holders choose not to share their political opinions or opinions on controversial issues, is because they're like, I'd rather just not deal with it at all and wait to share those things until after I'm a title holder. I'm not saying that you shouldn't express your opinions. I'm just saying, please, please, please do so with caution. That's it for today. Thanks for watching this episode. I hope that you enjoyed these tips and that you are subscribed. And if you're preparing for a pageant, make sure to sign up for my free pageant prep course. You can find a link to that in the description below. Thanks so much for watching this episode. Can't wait to see you next week.